I got a warning for you. We have a tornado warning here. So if we lose power here in the building, yeah, just want to put that out there. No pressure or anything. But we got a tornado warning here.
One, two, three, four.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 72 of the On the Runs podcast. We are virtual tonight, coming to you live, and Erica and I are, we've had a long Labor Day weekend. What's up?
Not much, dude. I've just been spending the weekend recovering after my 50K, which we'll get into eventually, but it was a lot of fun. Had a blast.
All right. I want to give you a tune here, though, because you were just saying something. So you ready? Tune. You ready? Do 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 do.
California. I cannot even tell you. It is my favorite show from back when I was in like high school, college. And I will tell you, I will fight people on this. It is the best teen drama of the time period. It beats One Tree Hill. It beats Dawson's Creek. Like all that other crap. It's just crap. The OC is fantastic.
If I've ever watched a teen drama, it was that one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like every, I don't know, what night was it? Tuesdays or something? Every Tuesday or Wednesday night. It's like everyone's watching and then talking about it. And I remember like in college, the end of a season, everyone was in one room watching it. It was,
I've rewatched it several times. It's so good.
Just before I hit record, Erica goes, I fell asleep and took a 90-minute nap watching the OC today. And I actually tried years ago to watch it again. And I watched the first season and I still thought it was really good.
It is, but some things have not aged well. I feel like that's happened with every show, but it is sometimes it's not.
You mean like what you can say and
correct.
do? Like,
yeah.
Okay. So like Entourage. You ever watch Entourage?
Yes.
There's so much in there you can't do or say now, but it's so funny. Even in Modern Family, there is so much they got away with back then that you can't do now. But you know what's the craziest thing?
What?
When you watch a show like Entourage or the OC from when we were back in high school? The phones.
Oh, yes. They had like, oh man, in the OC, it's the best. They had like the Motorola Razors and then they had the sidekicks. I wanted one of those sidekicks so bad, but I never got one. I was really, really bummed. But the nostalgia is so strong. Like that was the time period. Like puka shell necklaces and like all the Hollister clothes. And God, it was so good. It was so good.
I saw the funniest like reel on Instagram of this teacher doing 90s trivia with his kids. And if they got an answer right, it would be they would get some prize or something. And not one of them got an answer right. It was so funny because I knew every answer to every question.
I feel like I follow that guy.
Oh, and he would ask them questions like, I remember this one. Who sang Bop? And they're like, nope.
I'm so offended. They're all babies.
It asked them, like, what's a VHS? One was, what's a Trapper Keeper?
I am not
Do you
ready
remember
to feel
Trapper
this
Keepers?
old. Of course I remember Trapper Keepers. Oh, do you remember the Trapper Keeper episode from South Park? Did you ever watch South Park?
I don't know. I don't think
That's
I've
a
seen
classic
that
episode anyways.
Okay.
God,
I only know
make me
one
feel
South Park
so
episode.
freaking old.
38 and 37 here.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
But hey, these kids will never know. They will never know. They won't never understand how awesome life was in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, those were the days. That was good times.
Those were the days. Let's get to
Oh yeah, we talked to our next guest for a while, so we better jump right in, right?
Yeah, no, this one will be fun. John Calabrese is wicked cool.
Yeah, we went off topic quite a few times with the did you leave all the shoe talk in there?
Actually, you know what? That was really cool. You guys will get to see, but Erica and John got into like a little bit of shoe talk, like shoe porn. I'll call it shoe porn. It was he knows a lot. He's a smart guy too, and he does some writing or some reviews and stuff. And you guys are gonna like John. John Calabrese is one cool dude.
Yeah, John is so cool. So let's just jump right in. Let's get in on it. So
Let's do it.
here we go. Here's John Calabrese on the On the Runs podcast.
Our next guest on the pod is a dance dad, a caregiver, a failed reality TV star, and a wannabe competitive eater. He's a part-time adventurer who runs some ultras from time to time, and he's got a sweet stash. It is our pleasure to have John Calabrese on the On the Runs podcast. John, what is up, my friend?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. Dodging tornadoes and just living life.
This is one hell of an intro. That's all I could say. Tornado warnings. Failed reality TV star. Okay, there's just so much I need to know about you. I just cannot wait to jump in. So, how are you doing? I mean, tornado warning wise.
It's a dangerous world out there. Dodging tornadoes, failing reality TV. Yeah.
Well, it makes you quite the interesting guest. Ooh, you too. Here we go.
Little for safety or anything. Drinking yoo-hoo, dodging tornadoes. It's what I do here.
Where is here?
I live in Virginia. Right now I'm in Fredericksburg. I live like about 20 minutes away from Fredericksburg in a small town of Richardsville, Virginia. It's like being in witness protection. No one knows about you out there. It's cool. You do your own thing. You run around forever. Like during COVID, nobody cared if you ran around. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Lawless place, huh?
So we met on social media, right? That's where we met. You found us, or I found you. One or the other. Do you recall how that happened? And tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, we know you're from Virginia now, but like, is that where you grew up, and what's your background?
So I found out about you guys from basically I know Maurice from I met him at Badwater Cape Fear. Awesome dude. He's just like that in real person. If you see him at a race, you're in for a treat. He's a wonderful person. But like I was like, oh, Maurice is gonna be on a podcast. This is awesome. So I immediately liked you guys. That was right off the bat. And yeah, I listened to that. I'm a caregiver also, and Donald's a big fan of Maurice too because he's such a positive dude, and they always talk on Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you for having him on. That was a wonderful podcast.
That is so cool. I get the pleasure of getting to see Maurice again because him and I are both running the Anchor Down Ultra. I don't know when this episode will drop, but it's like 4 days from now. So I get to see him in a few days. But he is the most positive person I think I've ever met. Like, he's just incredible. So I'm so happy that he's touched so many lives. It's incredible. So yay, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I saw him come like a mile away at Badwater Cape Fear because you run on a beach. There's like nothing blocking view or anything like that. I saw him in his panda stuff and I was like, who is this dude? And like when I passed him by, he's just like, screaming and everything. I'm like, this guy's awesome. And then, I found out and learned a lot more about him on the podcast with the story. And I relate a lot to him. And I was like, these guys are awesome for giving him a shot and being on there. It was cool.
We kind of had the same experience when we met him last year. I will officially meet him in 3 or 4 days for the first time, like officially. Like, Maurice, how you doing? I hope he gives me a hug. I hope he's a hugger.
Oh, he will.
Not a handshake.
He will. He's a hugger.
But he was at the race. He was at ADU last year, and Erica had kind of a similar reaction around 5 a.m. She's tired, worn out. She's like, I'm done with this.
How does he have this much energy?
And she goes, this guy,
why can't I have this energy?
She's like, this guy won't stop yelling. And I'm like, everyone apparently loves this guy. Everyone's been talking to me about him while we were out here running laps. So get to like him because we're going to get him on the pod. And I think after a nap, she was like, okay, he's totally cool. Let's do it.
Oh, I was like zombified during that race. So like once I had my wits about me, I was like, I wish I was like him and had just that positivity and energy during that race. Cause it just like, it was so draining. But yes, Maurice, awesome dude. Can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, that's how I am at a race. I'll be really positive for a while, but then like the wee hours and stuff like that, it gets a little darker. I'm not going to lie.
Dark times for sure.
Goes to a bad place, but then I get back once the sun comes back out. I'm like, yeah, let's do this again. But yeah, I wish I could be consistent as he is with the positivity.
He's
real good at it.
He's a pretty cool dude. But we're here to learn about you, and I'm super excited. Like, I think I even messaged him like, I don't know who you are, but you just look awesome. So will you come on the podcast? And you're like, yes, and I'll bring the energy. And I'm like, I love the energy. Let's do this.
That's what we're
Always-
looking for here.
And then I'm like, we're 6 weeks out. Can you wait 6 weeks? Can you hold that energy?
Well, no, I want immediately like after hearing that pod and everything, I wanted to message you, but then like you messaged me. I was like, cool. I don't even have to do anything. This is great.
Yeah.
It's
Worked out
fate.
wonderful. Yeah, it was great. So I'm glad that worked out.
So you actually mentioned you're a caregiver. Is it your profession, or is it like you do it for Donald? Who is Donald in relation to you?
So I met Donald at a race. Him and his dad, they run together. Basically, they're really fast. I mean, like when I first saw them run, I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. So like I introduced myself, and we became friends, and then I started hanging out with Donald. I don't even look at it as a job. I mean, like he's my friend, So like it's one of the coolest things I've ever got to do in my life. So I'm really happy. He gives me constant. Like Maurice, that's probably why those two get along because they're probably, very inspirational people. So that's who I like to surround myself around. It's not even work. It's awesome. I love it.
That's awesome.
Did you or Donald see this past weekend or a week and a half ago? I did the hike up Mount Washington for adaptive sports.
So like this, with this week, basically it's the last couple weeks actually. Daughter goes to school this week. Like I don't know, like they don't have a summer anymore. So like I've been like really messed up. Like I haven't got to really like. And also I've been running like an animal lately. Basically like the for July I ran 400 miles and I've been doing a bunch of races. I'm all out all over the place. My daughter's about to go to school. I'm messed up here. I need to catch up.
I do
So short answer is no, he didn't.
Yeah, I do an adaptive hike every year. We hike up Mount Washington with adaptive athletes, and Donald would be considered an adaptive athlete, and we seen you and him playing soccer and stuff, and we do it to raise money for adaptive sports. And I just think that would be right up you and your alley there with him. If one year you guys want to come up here and do the sunrise ascent and summit Mount Washington with a bunch of us, we're called mules. Like I'm a mule, so I help pull up. This year I was on Team Jacques, and Jacques has some level of cerebral palsy. So it's I've done it like a dozen years almost. I was doing the math. I think I said 13 years. I think I was off by 2, Erica, last week when we talked, but. Yeah, no, I see you do that, and you guys are playing soccer and games, and he's out there, and he's just loving it. So I think like that. At first, I was like, I don't know if I'm looking at if John is the guy in the wheelchair playing the games or the guy taking the video, and then I found out he's Donald, and so I connected the dots, and I found you both, and you two were just so cool, and then you were a big time runner. So that's awesome that you do that. So. And I agree. It probably, when you enjoy what you do, it doesn't feel like a job, right?
Right. Donald's dad's a big time hiker and a runner. He runs ultras also. He's done the whole AT. So yeah, I'll definitely like next week when I go see him again, I'll let them know about that. That's awesome. Yeah, you would definitely be interested. Donald loves doing all kinds of adventures. Him and his dad have been rock climbing before, not rock climbing, but like the indoor climbing facilities and stuff like that. They do all kinds of wild stuff. It's amazing. The Harms, Donald's family, are just an inspirational family. Everybody's awesome at it. They're always doing crazy adventures. I love being a part of them.
That's so cool. So when you just casually dropped, by the way, that you ran 400 miles in July. So
Yeah.
Can I like segue into like what started your running journey and what led to your 400?
I just want to fit in. He also did a Disney vacation in the middle of that month. So he did
you really?
400
Oh my
miles of the
God.
Disney vacation.
So a lot of that was running in Florida? Or was it like, oh my God, this is bonkers.
Treadmills, like on like hotels and stuff. Whenever I could get it away for, like, if my daughter was sleeping, I would go run because I wanted to hang out with her and everything, So, like, if she was asleep, she basically, like, she would stay with family and I would go run. And that weekend I was in Florida, it was the hottest on earth, like, ever. Like,
Dude, I was at Santa's Village that same week thinking about you because I'm in the mountains of New Hampshire, sweating my balls off and thinking this dude John is at Disney World right now. And he's in the middle of Florida in like probably a swamp. And I'm in the mountains of New Hampshire and I'm dying. I'm like, how are you even alive?
It was so bad. I mean, like, but you know what? I love doing stuff like that because now back in Virginia, this is nothing. This is like easy stuff. Like I'm doing like mid 80s, whatever, close to 90, whatever. You should see Florida. This is perfect now. So yeah, basically just pay it forward.
That is insane. Is
Yeah.
400 miles like a typical month for you, or you're just ramping up for something?
So basically I was just trying to like do as best as I could for the summer grit. And basically it's a virtual race that Believe in the Run puts on.
Okay.
And I did a lot of virtual stuff during COVID and things like that. I did like the race across Tennessee and all those races. So I haven't done virtual stuff for a while, but like I really got into the Believe in the Run, grit, summer grit, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for this as much as I can. I would have liked to even get more, but if I were to go any more than 400, that would have like been like
Pushing
sorry,
some
Jilly.
limits.
Sorry, I can't hang out today. I gotta go run. I was gonna be like that. That was the best I could pull off without like being a complete jerk to my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She is 9.
She's 9. Okay, mine's 7. I have a 7-year-old daughter and the 2.5-year-old boy. So I know what you're talking about with life and family, man. It's hard. Erica
It
knows
takes finesse.
too, because Erica's paying my mom $100 to babysit my kids on Friday night, which is hilarious.
Oh, so that's happening.
Oh yeah, no.
So that's happening.
My mom.
I'm happy to shell it out for Janice. Anything for Janice. So what started your whole running journey? Have you been running for a long time, or is this like a more recent thing for you? Tell us all about it.
So I liked running growing up. I never really wanted to. It was more just like a secondary skill for like football and baseball and stuff like that. I never really liked it. But I mean, I did it a lot here and there. Not like big miles or anything. Being like a kid, but then like when I got into the military, I was in the U.S. Navy, and basically to train for the PRTs and stuff like that. I did little runs here when I was here and there when I was stationed in Hawaii, and it basically that planted the seed right there. I still didn't like running, but that planted the seed. Then basically what happened was I went through like a messy divorce, and I just needed something, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna train for a marathon. And then like I got really into it. Once the marathon was over, I got sad. I was like, I need more than this. So I ran another marathon, like a trail marathon, and that was hilarious because like I didn't understand the concept of trail running. I was like, why are people walking up hills and stuff? What are they doing? Why this is lame. And like I figured it out, and I met friends out there like, dude, they were like, don't do that. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Why are you running up that? But yeah, I learned it, and I started to really like the community. And my next race after that, I got into the Barkley Fall Classic. I thought it was like a joke. Now again, the Barkley Fall Classic is not the big Barkley, but I learned about the race from like Wikipedia and like Facebook, just like Googling like what's the hardest race out there and all that stuff. So yeah, I got in somehow. I even emailed Laz and Steve Durbin. I was like, "Is this a joke? Did I really get in this race?" But like, there was really bad weather. There was like a hurricane that year. There's a hurricane like every year. There's the Barkley Fall Classic. But anyway, like a lot of people dropped, so I got in, and yeah, I fell in love with ultra running, and that's that. That's that.
So you went marathon number 1, trail marathon number 2, an inexperienced running up the hills, and everyone's like, "Dude, stop running." And then you went Barkley's Fall Classic.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean,
What?
I did 5K before then, like just like messing around with like my mom, family, and stuff. And like my mom's always been like a big like driving force to get me to run because like running's always been big in her life, and she's instilled that in me. So I think that's helped me out a lot. But yeah, I still didn't like it though. It took a while to just like want to actually do running as leisure. So like the 5Ks helped, and then yeah, I went from 5K to marathon. So yeah, that's what I did.
0 to 60. There you go.
There you
But
go.
Yeah.
so do you consider yourself more of a trail runner than a road runner? You prefer the trails and like those longer races?
So this is a funny thing. So I'm better. I'm a better road runner, much better road runner. I'll even say I suck at the trails. I've done some incredibly hard races just off of just like being really stubborn. Like I'll like somehow I just finish. It's not pretty, but somehow I just finish. My girlfriend though, she's great on trails, but she likes running the road more. So we're like a weird yin and yang. We kind of like push each other to do stuff. Yeah, she crews me, and like I love running the road with her. Like I helped qualify her for Boston, and next
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that was her first time doing it too. So I'm so proud of her this year for pulling that off. And then next year I'm going to try to. So we'll see how that goes. I've never qualified myself. I've come very close, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think that's why I like the trails more because I don't like running fast. I like just like the chill vibe of like the trail runners out there. Like yeah, no, I just eating tasty cakes and yoo-hoo, all that stuff.
I
It's
know
amazing.
that's the appeal. I love walking sometimes. I love like just stopping to chat with people and the snacks. Like they had me at
Yeah,
snacks, honestly.
that's that's the mind blowing thing. Walking thing, like I was like, you can do that. Like I was like, whoa! Like when people like were like, hey, don't run up that hill. You have to run up. You have to have a good time. Like that's why we're here. But then like once I wrapped my head around, I was like, whoa, this is such a better environment. It's great.
That's why
You
I'm
wanna-
starting to dabble in it too. I was like, I could get used to this. Just it's so much more relaxed. Like there is no real pressure, except like if you have a looming distance or something. Like, oh, you have a lot to cover, but you
well,
can
even
cover it slow. You're good.
running 100 miler. I mean, like that's like, yeah, it's a long distance, but you're with people in the same situation. There's snacks along the way. It's like going trick or treating. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's a great
I
time.
love that. I love that. Trick or treat.
Ultra
Have some
running,
pizza.
trick or treating.
Here we go.
It's,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I'm definitely on board for that. So
What's this story about you finding out you're going to the Barclays Fall Classic and emailing Laz and people and figuring out how to go there?
So like, yeah, like this is kind of a crazy story, and this is what roped me into ultra running also. So I met a lady named Melinda Hawkes at my first trail race, and she basically she was so cool. Like she taught me a lot about ultra running, and she lives in Knoxville. So like when I got in, I was like, hey, I called Melinda. I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Can I just like crash to your place because you're there? And like she's like, yeah, sure, but can you pick up my friend Eric on the way? He's doing the same race, and he was gonna stay here too. I was like, cool. So like that's you picking up somebody you have no idea who they are. You're gonna ride with them for like 5 hours to Knoxville, stay with somebody you barely know, and then do like an insane race through like mountains, going through like a prison, insane stuff. I love it. Like, where else can you do that?
that is nuts.
Is it at the same place that you see the Barclays in the springtime with the yellow gate and the campground? Is it the same place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same place.
It's a little bit so like the main difference between the Fall Classic and the big Barkley marathons is like there's more there's a bigger field. Like I think there's 500 runners compared to like there's only I think like 40 in the regular Barkley. You don't have to look for the book pages, thank goodness, because there's no way I can find any of those. And then they have aid stations also. They have a lot of people volunteering. It's a really cool it's a cool like setup and everything. They have the football players from a local high school doing the aid stations, and the money from the Fall Classic goes to the community Warburg, the Warburg area. So yeah, it's one of my favorite races. I've done it 4 times. Hopefully, Laz lets me off the wait list this year. So we'll see what happens.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So what are
Thanks,
we
but
talking for mileage here? Like, so we know with the Barclays Marathon or Barkley Marathons,
there you go.
you got 5 laps. It could be anywhere from 100 to like 120 miles, depending on how Laz feels that year. But like, what are we talking for race mileage for this?
Can't use your GPS, so like you really never know. And I honestly I don't go out there and seek that information. So I try to do it by the book. I don't want to anger anybody that's monitoring stuff. So just I do whatever they want so I can go back. That's it.
There you go. So, but it's a lot. We're talking like it's up there for mileage. All right. Wow.
I've
That's
heard people
out of
throw.
my wheelhouse.
I've heard people throw things out there like so. There's there's 3 options when you run the Fall Classic. You can just a DNF, you can finish a marathon, or you can get a 50K. Now, the only way to get the 50K, like the main distance, is if you make certain time cutoffs, and it's a very rigorous time cutoff. I've missed it twice, and I've got the 50. I've got the marathon twice, and I've got the 50K twice. But like, yeah, you have to work really hard to get the 50K. At least for me, I had to. I think both times I got the 50K, I had only 10 minutes to spare. That's how it worked
Wow.
out. But yeah, like, yeah, so it's a very intense race. You don't know the miles. Like people have assumed. Like I've heard numbers thrown out there, but again, I'm not gonna speculate. I have no idea. But I hear it's a lot longer than 50K. We'll just keep it at that.
So we were talking about ultras not being like super stressful and stuff, but that's not the case.
Which weird you bring that up. So like I think there's different levels of ultras because like there's like the cool laid back one where like the actual miles, you can use GPS. Then there's other ones where like yeah, you can't use GPS, you don't know the exact mileage, you're going through really mountainous stuff where you have to like dive downhill on. Yeah, there's different. I think there's different tiers really of ultras.
Right.
Is
Is that just a Laz thing? I feel like he's the one who is like, no, you guys are using maps. Compass, here we go. But other
I
people
think
do that too?
no, I think Laz is the only one now that you mention it. Yeah. And no one's gonna say no, no, Laz, no, I'm not doing that
is
because
it
you want to get in, and eventually you might want to get in the big Barkley, so you can't push back on that. You got to do what he says.
is the trail like well marked? Like, how do you know you're on the trail and you're going the right way?
Oh, so it's funny. It's a mix. Like my recommendation if you do the race, is stick with somebody that's done the race before, because it is marked for the most part. But there's a couple spots there aren't markings, so you just got to kind of like follow people. But if you don't know the course at all, you could easily go off course. And then there's certain things like you need to follow the power lines, like when you go through Radjaw. You want to know what's going on. But Laz is really cool. A lot of people think he's like this like this evil dude, but like last year, for example, Eric and I couldn't go to the main packet pickup, so we did ours in the morning. And we were like, "Hey, Laz," and we were just like, "Tell us about the course. We didn't make it last night." He broke out the map and everything. He was like, "You're gonna go here," and he like told us everything. He was super cool. And like after, he's like, "You got no reason to get lost now, man. You got it all right here." And we're like, "Yeah, you're right. It was fine." Like he's such a nice guy. I think like I don't know where like he gets a reputation from like that. I mean, he really just wants to push people to do the best they can. That's how I look at him.
Is the
It's been
fall
working too, from what I from what I
Yeah,
see. I've
cool.
watched that documentary on the Barkley Marathon, so he seems like a cool dude, but it's his way
I
or the
mean,
highway.
does the fall
yeah, like
classic have a start time, or is it the same as the one in the spring where it's like whenever he wants and he lights the cigarette?
that's a good question. So like there is a hard start time, and he does smoke a cigarette in the beginning too, just like the Barkley marathon. So there that yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, it's basically like it's just an easier version of the not that it's easy at all, but it's an easier version of the Barkley. There's a set start time, aid stations, like any majority of stuff you'd have at a race, but there's some funny stuff on it too. Like the signs on the Barkley Fall Classic kill me. Like there'll just be like a random 1 mile to go sign in the middle of nowhere. You're like, there's not 1 mile to go. We've got at least 5 to the oh what? It's all
That's
we're
got to
all
show his sense of humor right there. Holy shit.
it makes me oh gosh.
1 mile to the next 1 mile sign.
Yeah, 1 mile to
Or
go,
it might
guys.
be then
Yeah,
a 10
woo.
mile sign. Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. That's cool. That's so cool. So when do you think you're on the wait list? How many years have you been on the wait list, and when do you think you'll know?
Oh no no. So like I'm just so I've done it 4 times. I'm on the wait list for this coming Barkley Fall Classic in September. If I don't get in, I wouldn't be like devastated. I'd be like I'd probably I'd probably be sad they get in, but at the same time be like, at least I have to do that again. It's like a weird like love hate thing. Like you really want to be there, but if you don't get in, it happens. I mean, I do so many races. My girlfriend would probably like dance the jigs. We're like, oh yes, we don't have to go there.
So
But
you're on the wait
the
list for
funny,
the fall classic, but are you on the wait list? I thought you were on for the big one. Are you going to like
oh
try
no,
to
no,
get in the big one?
Oh boy.
well, at some point maybe the only I have like a requirement for myself. We have a 100 miler here in Virginia called the Wild Oak Trail 100. It's it's probably the hardest race here in Virginia, and like I mean, you can make the argument for the East Coast. Definitely, Berkeley's definitely harder than Wild Oak, but like that's before I would even start like considering applying. I would have to finish the Wild Oak Trail 100 to even get myself into that mindset that I want to apply for Berkeley, and that might never happen because and if it doesn't, that's all right. That's a hard race.
Well, I feel like you have an in now, at least. You know how to get in touch with Laz and be like, hey, buddy, you know that I've done this and I've done this. Because
Well,
I know it's like notoriously difficult to actually get into the Barkley Marathons. Like, there is no set registration and nobody really knows how to do it unless you know. Like,
Don't you have to send him like a license plate?
What? Oh, I've got a cool one at my house. So I live in the country. I found a really cool one. It's from like the '60s. It's all like rusted out. Yeah, I'll have to send it to you after this. If I ever do somehow get it, I'm definitely bringing that thing. But the thing with Barkley, there's like so many elite runners from around the world that want to do it. Like the best chance I think a lot of like domestic runners had was during COVID because like the international travelers they couldn't come over to run the Barkley. So like that was probably
Oh.
that would have been a good window, like in hindsight. But at the time, I didn't really have even then the credentials to do that. So like I've got years ahead of me. I've got way more hundreds I need to do to even think about that. But I think the only way I would be able to ever get in is if there was like a COVID situation and somehow I got a bunch of like, I've done a lot of races, but I would have to really step it up and do some more.
Well, I have to say I'm proud of you for at least knowing your limits at the moment. So not just jumping right into it, but you're like, all right, I got to ease my way in. I need a couple more to get ready for it. So that just is awesome.
Well, don't get me wrong. If I knew there was a possibility, I'm a crazy runner. Like I love the hard races. If I knew there was a possibility, I would do it. But I'm also, I'm realistic with myself, and I know like how sought after the race is. So like I have to be realistic and about expectations and stuff like that. Also,
That's fair. That is very fair. I have to say I would probably do the same thing. Like, oh my God, I have this opportunity. I have to take it. So it's funny. I'm actually heading down to Virginia later on this year. I have I guess a beginner 100, people could say. It's the Yeti 100 in Abington. And if I can complete that within the 30-hour cutoff, I get a lottery ticket to Western States. Never, ever in my wildest dreams would I try to do Western States. But in the slimmest chance, if I got that, I would be like, well, I can't turn this down now. Like, I have to go do Western States. So I would have to, but like, I know my limits right now and it would scare the crap out of me. So
you have to go.
If anything, you got to do it for the podcast.
Well, let me tell you about Yeti. I've actually DNF'd Yeti.
Really? Oh no.
So it was.
What happened? Tell me.
So in 2018, I ran it. After doing a bunch of races that year, I did a lot of races in 2018, and Barkley Fall Classic being one of them. I think I ran Barkley like 2 weeks before Yeti. So yeah, I was doing a lot of dumb stuff like that. But my leg locked up. Yeah, around mile 50, my leg locked up. And then going back up White Top Mountain, I got extremely cold. Like this dude, he might have saved my life. He threw me in his truck because I was like turning like blue and stuff. So like Jason Green, the race director, he'll put in like, make sure you bring like a real coat just in case. You might be fine, it might be warm, but going back up White Top, it can get pretty cold going back up there. So like it's like required gear to have a coat. I had like just like a light jacket. No, I needed something like much more.
I saw that.
And make sure to bring a coat. That was pretty bad, but like I'd like to go back and do that race again though. It is an awesome
I did see that. That's in the handbook.
Yeah, make sure to bring a coat. I think about me when you're doing that. Don't be me. But yeah, I started going really slow because my leg locked up, and then I got really cold, and yeah, I DNF'd.
I'll let you know how it goes this year. I'm pretty nervous about it, not gonna lie. But yes, a jacket is required, or else it's like an automatic disqualification. I read the handbook, so you are correct. It's necessary.
Did you post a picture of you holding a DNF sticker at that race?
Oh no! So like, there's a backyard ultra I do because everyone DNFs a backyard ultra except for one person. For that one, they give a DNF sticker out. That's a great sticker, It's those are my favorite stickers.
All right, we'll save that. I thought you stole my Instagram pic. I thought you stole it by talking about the DNF, but I was like, oh, okay. That's a different story. We'll get to that story later. I'm going to ask you that question again.
I DNF a lot. I mean, like, I'm not so much anymore. I have every year I get probably 2 DNFs. I mean, like, I push it pretty hard. I do some hard races, and DNFs happen. I don't like them, but they happen.
How many races do you typically do a year?
So I race almost every weekend.
Wow.
Well, about 52 races, Erica.
So, I mean, that's a pretty low DNF rate if you think about it. It's pretty good.
It took me a long time to figure out hundreds. I'm still like not great at them, but yeah, it's a different beast. But I mean, like I said, once you start getting into hundreds, I mean, it's just like I feel like they're more fun than trying to push like a like a 3 hour marathon or something, there's
Right.
less. Yeah, I feel like there's way more pressure to try to do something like
Well, now
that.
wait. If you race almost every weekend, what is like the average distance race you do? You're not doing hundreds every weekend, are you?
No, 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 no. I mean, if I could, I would. Don't get me wrong, but with the family thing, there's no way that would happen. But I, I, I do like probably. I do like a pretty much an ultra every weekend, or not like a marathon, some road races with my girlfriend. But yeah, for the most part, about an ultra every weekend. Like again, like we switch up and do marathons sometimes, or like a half, but like I do a lot of ultras.
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. See, I
Also
feel
very
like I would
distracted.
like to do stuff like that. Yeah, sorry, my cat. So I would like to, but I feel like in the New England area, there's not quite as many races of the ultra length as I would like, especially in the summer. Oh, geez. Hold on. What is she doing? Okay. That's, yeah, ultimate distraction with this cat. She was sleeping. I don't understand. Go back to bed. Anywho, where were we? Oh, you do travel. You travel a lot for them.
Yeah, one thing about that, that's kind of hard doing the traveling for the races because I mean, like, as hard as the races are, I mean, like, I think the travel's worse, and you end up spending a lot of money traveling also. So, like, yeah, that can be a difficult part, but I love doing it. And what I try to do are like, there's a lot of free races out there. Like a couple weeks back, I did one in PA, Viaduct 100. That's a free
Mhm.
100 mile. So, like, yeah, I mean, like, and we camp out for it. Like I look for a lot of those races where you can save money and be with a lot of like the similar runners that do the same thing. Yeah, it's a kind of a cool community of people that do that. So yeah, I mean, like I do big races also, but I find doing the free races, stuff like that, the more like local ones, I find them to be a lot more. I don't know. It's just it's refreshing. It's more grassroots.
Don't they have a name for these
I
free
like
races?
that.
Aren't they? Isn't there a name for them? I can't recall off the top of my head. It's like like fat ass.
Yeah, fat ass. I was, I just didn't want to throw it out there. I wanted you to open the door.
No, fuck yeah. Doors
Yeah,
open.
I got you.
Fat ass races. Like what are fat ass races like? Are they well supported? Are there like prizes at the end? Because it's a free race. You're not you're just showing up and you're going. And are they well supported? Do you have is it only like your own crew? Because your dad crews for you sometimes, right?
I'll be honest with you. The fast races to me, they're some of them are better than like the races you pay money for. Like they're everyone like brings an item, and we're all runners. We know what we like, so everyone brings good stuff. Like they're not going to come up empty handed or bring some stuff that's just not applicable to the race. So everyone like pitches in, and yeah, like for Viaduct, for instance, the couple that runs one of the aid stations. They've been doing the aid station ever since the race was like I think it's Pennsylvania's oldest race, and they've been doing it since the beginning. So like you have people like that just they're obsessed with doing these races and helping out. I'm part my running club, Virginia Happy Trails Running Club. They put on free races all the time, and like honestly, I'm so lucky that they're here because like I want to race. Like I said, I want to race every weekend pretty much, or just like close to it. And because they put on so many races, I'm able to do that. Without them, I mean, like I would be so broke and like be unhappy or just like, self-supported stuff. Or it's just nice that we have that luxury here in Virginia through Happy Trails.
You gotta love the running community, especially with those. So I honestly had no idea that was a thing. Like I have heard of free races, but they're literally called fat ass races. Like that's so funny to me.
I probably should know that because I run so many of these, but I have no idea how that term came to play. But
I love it.
yeah, that has.
But yeah, the whole community comes out, and it's like it's good for like small towns too, bringing in business and people, and so it's beneficial for everybody. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And again, like there's there's so many good races like these fastest one like some of them like 50 like the 50K distance for instance. Like I don't even like want to pay for 50K now because there's so many of these. I mean like and they're better. I really think that they're better off, and you like a lot of them are a lot more challenging. Like Happy Trails does them a lot of them through the Massanutten Mountains, really technical rocky stuff. I mean like I'd rather do that than forego for like $150 for like a 50K that probably doesn't benefit charity or anything like that. Doesn't really
Hmm.
help the all. So yeah, I mean, like it's just really cool that runners make these on their own and just they keep it within the runners and just the community, and again making races that we know that we're gonna like.
That's true.
You've name dropped Happy Trails a couple times. What is Happy Trails?
They're my run club. I mean, Virginia Happy Trails running club. Basically, they've been around for a long time. I mean, they have free races. Just a really cool group of people. I love them. One cool thing that they really like also is they encourage people to write race reports. Like, I mean, like kind of like not kind of like how I didn't like to run when I was growing up. Same thing with writing. I mean, I always like wanted to like write stuff. Just anything. Like I wanted to do more of it, but I feel like running and writing it's really interconnected, and to like you know it, to really experience like what I like to do now is like writing the race reports and like really getting out the feelings out there, what's on my mind at the time. And it doesn't just help you, I feel, grow as a runner. It helps like the race. It helps talking about that, so if somebody can reference it to go back if they're thinking about running that race. I think like it's really cool that a running club would do that and like encourage people to do that also, just to help out everybody in the community and yourself.
Yeah.
That's true. Let the feelings out.
That's right. I think it's hard to unlock that stuff. Like I feel like for me, like some of the times, like I really get some good thoughts out just being really beat up from a run, or just like I'll be thinking about a lot of stuff that's just hard to unpack when like I'm in the moment or doing stuff with my daughter, or I'm stressed out. But like once I get a good run in or something, I can really like just like get those thoughts out and be clear on paper on the computer, whatever, whatever we're using now.
Not gonna lie, I ran 4 miles this morning, Erica, before work. Started my work week off nice there, and I felt great all day. So he's right.
Good for you.
All right, John.
That's true.
We are a storytelling podcast. So I want to hear some of your stories, some of your memorable races. I'm going to bring one up first, and then you can lead into whichever one after that you want. In my research, my Googling, I found out that your dad has his own blog. And in that blog, he talks about the Beast of Burden 100. And it's not just the race, it's the whole story, the whole adventure of getting there. Can you tell us and our listeners about the Beast of Burden?
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a dumb race. It's an awesome race, but it's pretty dumb. Like you're running in Buffalo in February. That's pretty much sums it up. So like just getting there from Virginia, if there's inclement weather, I mean you're driving through like PA mountains and stuff, ice all over the place. It's just I think getting there was harder than the actual race, and I DNF'd the race at mile 75. But like there's so much to that race though. Like I really wish that I would have finished that race, and I could have looking back at it, but like there was just a lot going on. So first off, here in Virginia, we it gets like I want to say like the coldest it gets here is like in the 30s, like 30s to 40s. So it doesn't get that cold here to try on gear and to be ready for a race like that for one thing. And then the next is basically the cold there is bad, but then like what really messed me up was just like the layering and stuff like that. Like just so like there were the way that the course is laid out. You do a series of out and backs. Like you could be going out and like you have like this headwind that makes it like negative,
Oh.
and then coming back. Yeah, so like if you over layer on that, you're gonna be sweating coming back. I got to 75 and I was like dripping in sweat. People were like offering me their clothes stuff. They're like, "This race, you only have one more loop," and I was like, "Nah, I'm done. I can do a race like this, whatever." But then like COVID happened, like a couple, like I want to say like yeah, so it happened like real close to that. I was like, "Oh, I really should have done that. I really should have done." That was so disappointing to me, but yeah, I'll always remember Beast of Burden just because COVID happened right after that, and I should have been able. I should have been able to take advantage of the opportunity better. And when I think about that a lot when I'm like I am going to DNF race. I think like, hey, what if something were to happen? You can't do 100 for a while. You have to do self-supported stuff or freaking virtual races.
Mhm.
So like when I'm in that seat, I think about that. But yeah, I really want to go back and do Beast of Burden because it was a great experience. I mean, like it was like you said, it was adventure just getting there. But yeah, I'll always remember that because it happened, right after that COVID happened. I couldn't finish the race. I was so dumb.
That sounds so miserable.
Oh, it was such a cool race too. Now it's a different race director also. So like, from it sounds like it's doing the race is doing really well, but that race is in New York, and it is kind of like a tough drive from
Mm.
Virginia. Got to sell it to the girlfriend, and I think she'd be cool with it, but at the same time, I mean,
Would
it's a
you do
long
it
drive.
with you if you guys did it together?
Well, I'm pretty sure she would. I'm pretty sure she want to pace me on it, but like, well, actually, I don't know because she gets really cold, and like,
Oh.
yeah, that I don't know if she'd be down with that just because the year I did it, it was like. It was like the movie The Thing. I mean, you couldn't see any ground. It was all snow, and yeah, the things I know now though, because this was this was right before COVID. I mean, I've done a lot since then, and so like I think I think I'd be all right now, but yeah, I mean it's real unfortunate. I wish I could have finished that race.
I remember
Well, it's all about the experience, valuable knowledge learned.
I got a kick out of your dad's blog post because he's talking about how everyone's driving in a convoy. Maybe it was supposed to be a 6-hour drive turned into like a 12-hour drive. And then you got some clown trying to pass everyone in the snowstorm. And it's like lake effect snow. And your dad's like, I'm going to go back to the hotel and take a shower or do this and eat. And John's out there. I'm checking my phone. He's not calling. And it was just funny reading it from your dad's perspective. He's just driving you there in a snowstorm, going to chill in the hotel as you go run a bunch of laps and pick you up when you're done.
Yeah. Well, he did something really awesome though. So like, what's that place called? Up north, there's what's that coffee shop that's up north? Like the former hockey player.
Oh, Tim Hortons.
Yes.
Tim Hortons.
There, like
I'm the only guy who would know that, like in the podcast world here in America.
I'm like, no idea.
We don't have that here. So like my dad brought me like donuts and like a sandwich with there. I was like, yes, this is a great DNF. Awesome, I'm done. Yeah. So yeah, that was an amazing, that was an amazing part of the DNF. So that it was kind of worth it for the Timmy Hortons.
Timmy Hortons is like the Dunkin' Donuts of Canada, Erica.
I figured as much. You said coffee shop, but I have heard of it once you name dropped it, but yeah, I never would have pulled that out though.
Delicious. It was amazing. It was good stuff.
Yep. Timmy Hortons. Been there once or twice up in my trips to Quebec and Mont Tremblant, but not a coffee drinker here. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, that's what keeps me alive. Like to do all the miles I do, I live off coffee. Live off it.
That's a great transition.
We're more Red Bull people.
Trying to stop it, but that's a good transition though. What are you eating and drinking during these races, man? You're doing all these ultras. What are you putting in and out of your system? And what doesn't
Well, we know what's
with
coming out of his system.
No, so like my girlfriend has my nutrition dialed in pretty well. Like, so she screwed me a lot of races. Like, basically, like it's so funny. Like, what she'll do, she'll just like lay out some stuff for me. I don't like gels unless like I really have to. Like, if I have to use gels, I like Morton Sport. Was it Science and Sport and Spring? But those are expensive too. But they actually taste kind of like food and not like a chemical mess. But those ones I like. But other than like if I don't use gels, my girlfriend will just lie out a bunch of stuff. I take a lot of like weird stuff. Like I've drank V8 at races before. Like if I'm really dehydrated, I drink a lot of pickle juice, Pop Tarts.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my god, I love Payday. What else? I'm like, yeah. It's sometimes we'll just go to the store like right before a race and we'll just like get a
whatever looks
like,
good.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's like the cool. I think that's why I like ultras too. Is just like the food part. I mean, like I'm sure at some point it's gonna catch up to. Well, it's gonna catch up to me even worse. But like, yeah, it's right now. It's kind of fun.
It's funny. So during my the Anchor Down Ultra, we passed like one epic aid station every lap, and last year pickles and pickle juice like saved me because I can't do gels either. Like, well, goos and stuff just ugh. I have a texture thing though, so it's more of that. But like I had like a sugary drink and I was just so sugared out that I just needed that like vinegary pickle juice and I was like ready to go again after. Like it just totally picked me up. So yeah, everybody's got their own little thing. Like I still haven't nailed my nutrition down. So if your girlfriend has any tips, ever send them my way.
It's tough. It's tough to do. It takes years to figure out. I mean, like one thing I try to stay away from that as a last ditch effort is 5 hour energy. I know that stuff is probably
Ooh.
like hurt your
I
body,
used to
but
live off of that.
it's if you have to do it, it saved me on a couple ultras. But there's also been times like I get to the point sometimes I get so tired. Even if I drink one of those, I just stay tired. So like I don't know, you have to like time it
Yeah,
just right.
no,
Like,
totally know what you're talking about. When I worked in NASCAR and we would drive through the night, I lived off 5 hour energy. Like one would do it for me and I could do an 8 hour drive, no problem, sometimes even 10 or 12. I haven't had a 5 hour in years. In the past like 10 years, it's been Red Bull, but I haven't had a Red Bull since March. So I'm doing good. I'm
yeah,
38 now. I got to start thinking about my health.
yeah. I'm 43, and I think that like all the time I'm like it's funny like people are like, oh, you run 100 miles or you must be so healthy and all that. I'm like, if you knew what's going in this body, you would not think that. There's probably some long term bad stuff going on in you.
So is your girlfriend a nutritionist, or did she just like, I'm gonna like figure this out for you and be your support crew and tell you what to do, or I'm gonna like got it down to like a science and she knows what your body can and can't handle?
Yeah, she's just so like I think just from her laying out like certain stuff like because when I'm on a race like I'm like kind of I'm not picky but like I can't be like there's I know some dudes that have like a box of like vanilla like goo and that's all they need like at the aid station. Take that, I'm good. But like I just need like some stuff laid out and she's seen me like at certain times, like at certain points of the day, like I'll go for a certain item. And yeah, like she just kind of knows what I like, which is good. Sometimes I swear she knows it better than me. So like if she just has like a certain amount of things out there, just random just random stuff, red vines and Dr. Pepper, or like I don't know, just like she just kind of has me dialed in more than myself. If that makes any sense. She knows what she's doing, and that's why like we work pretty well together. So like on ultra, she's got me dialed in, and then on the races, like what I do with her, like when she was trying to BQ, I make sure that she takes like not gels, but she takes fuel for fire. I don't know if you're aware of that stuff. It's
Mm-mm.
kind of like it's almost like a baby food, but it's like it
Oh.
actually it tastes pretty good. It's like I think they sell it at like Wegmans and stuff, but like that's what she takes. She doesn't like gels either, but like when I first started running with her, she wouldn't eat anything at all, like on marathon. So I was and she would like bonk out and stuff. So like
Mm-hmm.
I like, hey, you gotta eat your stuff now. So like I help get her into that. But yeah, she's like we're picky in different ways. Like she doesn't like to eat, and I probably eat way too much. So like yeah, we're like yin and yang on like everything. Like food, no food. Yeah, we balance together like that. It's how it works sometimes with couples.
Let's hear the love story here. How do you two meet? Because you're both runners, and I'm guessing you met at a race or something?
Did we absolutely did. Ironically we met at a Valentine's Day race. We met at
Oh.
yeah, we met at Valentine's race, and yeah, we talked, for years after that, and we just hooked up, and yeah, here we are. We're running all these races together. Yeah,
Fool around, find
she does.
out.
We're actually we're gonna do this is really cool. We're gonna do the JFK 50 this year together. She's from the Williamsport area. Well, she's not from there, but she just moved from the Williamsport area. She moved in with me. So like but we're gonna go back there and run JFK together. And I think it's gonna be a really great experience for her. It's an awesome race. Yeah, I basically like once we started dating and I went and like I started hanging out in the community more in Williamsport, seeing how everyone loves the race and everything, I was like really taken aback. I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I'd done the race before, but I was just like, it's a cool race and everything. But then like once you like really get involved with the community and talk to people about JFK, like I'm really stoked to run it with her because I think she's really good. She's gonna enjoy it, even though she likes the road more. JFK is kind of like it's almost like a road race because people run, even though you go through the AT and stuff, people run that race really fast. I think she's gonna get really into it and get fired up from like being in her where she used to live and everything.
I've heard such good things about that race. One of them being from our friend Jenny. It was Jenny who said it, right?
Yep.
I think she was talking
Jenny's
it up,
in
and I was like,
Virginia, right? Or is she West
gotta
Virginia?
add that to my list. I think she's West Virginia because she knows Michaela.
That's right. So we have,
So,
we're
but
kind of,
I'm like, I gotta do this one eventually. I'm just slowly making myself like a bucket list of races to do eventually. So that one's going on it.
we're like a New England podcast that's growing and we're just kind of spreading out into the country, and we're covering that whole Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia area, and we're getting it. We got a lot of guests from Virginia, West Virginia, and Ohio already, multiple from each state, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
we're
yep.
growing, man. Let's keep the growth. Let's keep it, baby.
Yeah.
All right, John Calabrese, I know you got some other amazing epic stories for us. Tell us some of your more memorable running moments.
Spill it. Spill it.
So just recently, you guys got to check out this race if you don't already know it. I mean, it's close. It's kind of close to New England in a way. I mean, like it's in the. Are you familiar with the Catskills?
Yes.
Okay, so have you heard of Manitou's Revenge?
No.
No.
Have not.
So I DNF'd that race in what was it in 2022? Yeah, I just last year. Yeah, so I DNF'd it then. Um, I had COVID right before the race, and I was cleared and everything, but I was still feeling messed up. But I already had like my campsite and everything like basically paid for, and like I didn't want to like quit right before the race because I didn't want the race director to be like angry or anything like that. So I went, and it was really difficult. It's a really hard mountain race. I want to say it's got like something like 15,000 feet of vert in a 54-mile race. And like, that's not even the hard part. I mean, like, it's mountaineering. You're just like, climbing up, constantly going down, that's the terrifying part, going down those rocky technical things. Like, I don't know how people can run down that stuff. I looked like a toddler, like out there. Because, like, I mean, we have Rocky Mountains terrain here in Virginia, but nothing like the Catskills is like, going down some of those descents where it was like I asked myself a couple times like or into friends out there, I was like, is this real life right now? This is the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. That race I finished with an hour to spare, but like oh my gosh, like that was I mean that might be harder than the Fall Classic, honestly, like just because it's so different. I don't know, like those two races though. Barkley and the Manitou's Revenge, like definitely, if you want to do some dangerous stuff, like Manitou's is so crazy. But my friend said to me, and me and him have done like all these crazy races together. My friend Tony Taylor, he was like, "This is some dangerous stuff." I was like, "Yeah." We don't usually talk like that to each other at races. We're like, yeah, we're just like, this sucks. Yeah, we can do it. We can get through this. We've done worse stuff before. But yeah, this one was just kind of like, we're looking at each other like, oh my gosh, we're doing this.
You're not selling it, man. I'm like, I'm going to start making an alternate list of races to avoid at all costs because I would fall down that mountain. I would just tumble and tuck and roll like all the way down the whole thing. So,
I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of surprised no one's died at that race before. I mean, it's like it was like on that level. It was really scary. But yeah, somehow I got that. Yeah, it was tough. I got that one done somehow though. Yeah. I mean, like, I look for, I don't know why, just like, I almost exclusively look for races like that though. So like, I kind of, like, it's weird. Like, I don't look back ever. I'm just like, well, yeah, well, this happened a couple weeks ago. So it's always like the fresh one, like Manitou or like, doing Eastern States this week. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of like going all in, every weekend.
Damn. If I can think
Yeah.
of any crazy ones up this way, we'll send them to you and I'll crew.
Yeah.
I'll come crew.
Or any fat ass races that are there, those are good. So like save some money, but also usually though also like I find that like a lot of the fat ass races they're messed up. So like I kind of like those too because one, they're free, and two, you're gonna do some weird unsanctioned stuff on them usually. Do some like some bushwhacking or some stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun.
That's right. That's exactly what Erica's looking for.
Hardly.
No,
this whole I'm very surprised about Erica's transition from like just marathon road running to now doing an ultra and eventually trail races, because she and I did a Tough Mudder in Vermont years and years and years ago. She hated it, and she's like, I'll never run on something that's not paved again. And when
Well, it was mostly because of the obstacles too. Like, I'm not good at that. I don't know why I bothered, but
so then we took her one day on a rail trail that just happened not to be paved. It was still flat. It was perfectly like kind of groomed. I don't know if that's the right word. And she was a crab. She was an absolute crab that my friend and I ran ahead of her.
I have an excuse for this one. This was I was doing, so if you're familiar with the Yeti Trail Runners, they do like a 24-hour challenge. I was smack dab in the middle of one of those. So I had already done like 2 runs that day. They had joined me for another run outside. So I was like, I think I was trying to do like a 50 miler or something within a 24-hour span. And so they got me. I was cranky. I was already like 18, 20 something miles into this thing. And I was like,
Actually, I think it was your
flat
second.
or nothing.
I think it was your second.
Was it only
leg.
the second while I
Second
was
leg.
working on it? So,
So, but
Yeah,
then she goes
rough.
ADU, which has like little under a mile of trail. And I was like, she walked it. Okay, of course she walked it.
Well, some of that's technical and it's at night.
Then
so.
then she got the bug. And since she got the bug, she's like all up for kind of not like single track trail running, but like she'll go on the gravel trail, she'll go on the dirt trail, and she's up for it. And she's like, oh, here's some other ultra I'm gonna do, and it's maybe all trail. And I'm like, wow, where did
How
this
else
come
am I
from?
gonna get used to it if I don't try? So
Right.
I'm baby stepping my way into it.
Baby stepping, and she's no longer a crab. She's just like, let's do it.
That's a segue to JFK. So JFK, you run on you run on the AT right there, some road, and you run 26 miles on the C&O Canal. So yeah, that is right up. That's right up. That's like that's your jam right there.
Sold.
I'm proud of her. I'm not giving her a hard time. I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of her. Very proud.
I am honestly working on it, because if I do have these dreams to do any of the cool races, like any of the ones that you've done, I'm going to need to get a little bit better. It's just the technical things. I just got to find the right shoes. I don't have a great pair of trail shoes. So any suggestions you can throw my way, I'd be appreciative. So
What are you running in right now currently? If I may ask.
honestly, I have a pair of, what are they? Oh my God. Saucony Peregrines, and they are a little too big and my feet slide in them, so I don't like them. So I wear, if I need any type of tread, I have Brooks Ghosts. So it's not even trail. So
yeah, I mean you could do that on like the rail trails and stuff like that. But I mean, like, it's good to have a good
it's
pair.
not.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you running?
I run in that pretty much everything. So I've got right now.
You write some reviews, right? Don't you do some reviews on shoes?
I do shoe reviews for Believe in the Run. They're amazing. Again, like going back to like people that have helped get me to write more. Believe in the Run's really awesome. Everyone's super encouraging there. Yeah, like so. Some of the times, what I'll do is basically like if I'm doing a review, like my race last weekend, I did the Jarman's Invitational Marathon. This race, so you go up and down this mountain 4 times, and it's a mile out and back, 3 up and 3 down. It's like, I want to say you end up doing like a total of 7,500 feet of vert in 29 miles.
Oof.
So yeah, I was wearing zeros. Are you familiar with zero?
Oh, but it sounds. Is it zero drop, or are they just like?
Yeah. So a pretty minimal shoe. I was in the Scrambler low. You'll have to wait. I'm not gonna give anything away because the review hasn't come out yet. But like, I had a good time wearing those. Basically, like, I like trying everything. I've always been like that. So I worked in run specialty for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And yeah, I kind of just, I love trying out shoes. I love writing about them. I love just like weaving in weird pop culture references into them. Like, I don't know, something random, like Full House or something.
Nice.
Yeah, I like to talk about that, or like heavy metal, or like 80s action movies. Believe in the Run's so cool, and they let you do that too. So like they want you to be weird and cool. So like I'm like really feel like at home like with them, and like because like they helped me get in my miles with all these different shoes and stuff like that, and I helped them write the reviews. So it's a great relationship, But like yeah, with me though, like if you do like the Brooks Ghost, you might want to try the new Cascadia. Is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good shoe. That's a good all around shoe. I would try that, but also with your foot sliding around.
I think it just might be too big. I could just need to go down a size or a half size or something. But
have you ever been like fitted at a run specialty shop, like a local one or anything, like a mom and pop, or just it's okay? So like, okay, cool. Long as they've seen your foot and like they've given you recommendations on like your foot shape and stuff like that. Just long as you have that, that's a big thing too. Because some people just like the weird thing about when I worked at Run Specialty, some people just think like their foot is a different size than what it is. You have to like, no, this is your actual size. So like, there's some of that. But as long as you're like, you're in tune with what your sizing and everything is. I think that's the biggest battle with shoes. If
Mhm.
you're just an improper fit or just like weird foot shape, so many problems with blisters and stuff like that. It's awful. But yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff out right now. Like I'm giddy. I can't even.
I can tell.
Yeah, you got me.
I'm taking notes though. I'm like, ooh, he said this one. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. So.
Had a lot of fun in the Cascadia. So like, what brands have you traditionally liked in the past?
Oh, I am a big New Balance girl. Like I love New Balance for like a just normal day, like everyday trainer. I do like the Nike, the Vaporflies. Those are like my speedy race shoes. Man, it all depends. Like I'll be like, oh, I like this color. Can I wear this shoe? And like I'll try it out. And like the Brooks was one I was fitted for. So
do you like the big? Do you like the big like bulky shoes like for trail and stuff like that? The more like the squishier, comfy ones, or
to be honest, so with Anchor Down, I have gotten some really good times and distances in a pair of it's like the New Balance like FC Elites. Like that is like one of their cushy shoes, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it just worked for me. So I mean, I do like cushion shoes, but I'm honestly down for anything.
New Balance's trail lineup right now is really awesome. There's one shoe I really want to try out. Unfortunately I didn't get to review it, but like I'm probably gonna end up getting it anyway. Is the More Trail? They're the new More Trail. Yeah, it's like in their believe in the Run review. They basically were like saying it's fat tire fun. It looks amazing. That's really cool. What I want to try out just because. I mean, I like those really comfy trail shoes that are just like basically, yeah. I just like to relax out there. I don't. I mean, for me personally, I don't like minimal trail shoes. I just like something that has like a lot of cushion to it. Like unless like even if I'm going for like faster times and stuff like that, which I really don't on ultras, I just try to survive. I mean, like you know, I really enjoyed the Zero. I'm really weird like that. So for me personally, I like to have a shoe with like nothing to it or very maximal. Like there's no in between. Like kind of.
So you're an all or nothing kind of guy.
Yeah, that's just me. But like running so specific with shoes.
Honestly,
like,
yeah, it is.
It's kind of like, yeah. So like when I worked at Run Specialty, it was kind of hard to like, I would just give people like recommendations based on their foot shape and stuff like that. And for me, like I kind of like, that's why like we're, writing reviews for Believe in the Run. Cause I like writing about the experience that I got from the shoe and just kind of like how it works for me and like, what I would use it for. Then people can just kind of get their own like kind of opinions on how they would use the shoe and stuff like that. To kind of talk about shoe in that perspective. Because if you're just trying to like, if you're fitting somebody for a shoe, like, oh, this will work for you. I don't know. I just don't like doing that. I'd rather just kind of like write about the shoe and what was cool about it. And then people can just come up with their own conclusions and, kind of like, I think this will work for this circumstance or whatever.
There you go. I like that. I have a lot of research to do now. Thank you for some suggestions. I am excited to find one that works for me because I don't think that the Saucony was the one for me, but I'll keep looking.
Go on believeintherun.com.
Yes.
They have those guys are like incredible. Like I'm learning so much from them. I mean, like, yeah, it's been a treat to talk to them about shoes, and they do a lot of cool like group runs in Baltimore and stuff like that where they're located. So yeah, I would definitely check them out. They're like, I mean, I'm just lucky to be a part of them because like I'm learning so much. But they're on another level. They take shoes to another level for reviews and stuff like that.
How did you find them, and how did you become someone to do shoe reviews for them?
So basically, like I posted so much stuff on like social media about my shoes and stuff like that. Like so a lot of the guys from Believe in the Run, they'd be like laughing at how many shoes I have. They're like, we get a lot of shoes here, but you probably have more than I do and stuff like that. So like I constantly kept in contact with them, and like I'll be honest, like I was trying to find a way that I could like be able to get shoes to run in and stuff like that because running's expensive, like so like I was just like I was talking to some guys there. I was like, I'm looking for some way. Like, I'm not popular enough to become or talented enough to become like an elite runner or like an influencer or anything like that. So I mean, like, I have some followers on Instagram, but not enough to like a lot of those places. They want you to have like 10,000 followers. It's very hard to do, and I'm
Yeah.
not that fast to justify being an elite athlete or anything like that. So like Believe in the Run just worked. Like they knew how much I run from like Strava and stuff like that because I do run a lot and like I do put a lot of care into like making sure a shoe gets a good review. And I put a lot of time in running into the shoes, and it helps me out too. So I think it really works out for both of us. But I think they were able to see that because, how much I run, and like I would constantly bounce stuff off him if I saw something funny online about shoes or just like anything like or like in particular one of the main guys there, Robbie. Do you guys remember the shoe, the 10-9, the Hoka 10-9?
I don't know that model specifically. I don't think.
Well, that one with like the long tail to it. Do you remember that? Remember if you saw it. It was like a really
Probably.
funky. So like I started talking to him about that one, and then we just like I bounced like stuff off of him, like about like cool shoes coming out, and like I just just over the years, it just kind of worked out.
That's so cool.
Erica, can you see my screen?
There it is. Look at that beauty right
How
there.
about that one?
It looks like how do I describe that? It looks like a moon boot. Like
It's definitely something that belongs in the movie Back to the Future.
People wore that? I don't know if I've ever seen that on a person before.
I wore that until I wore it out.
Did you? Oh no.
That one's like a hiking boot.
Oh no.
Yeah,
see, I'm picky about my shoes. It would have to be. Well, then again, I wear the vapor flies, and they kind of look just like those.
Well, the weird thing about this shoe also that made me laugh when you buy it, the box is big for one thing, also because the shoes are so big. But there's like a note card in it, and it says don't drive with this shoe on because of that heel.
What, you can't hit the gas pedal correctly? Oh my gosh.
The Hoka here. I'm not driving in that thing.
Hey, they told me not to.
It kind of reminds me of
wow,
like
that is.
It reminds me like if you went to a hospital or somewhere where you have to put like booties around your shoe. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like if you got this like big booty, on your shoe. Or like in hockey when you did the slide, you had to slide on some like plexiglass thing, and you slit, and so you'd put the boot over your shoe. That's what it reminds me of. Look at that thing.
So one thing about that, though, I got lucky. So I like my buddy. So when I worked at Run Specialty, my friend he gave me that shoe. It was weird. He let me borrow it, and then COVID happened, and he was just like, I didn't see him for like because I had to go on work furlough. They only had allowed a certain amount of people on staff, so I went on furlough. And then like when I saw him again, he's like, yeah, you just keep it, man. It's cool. But that shoe's $250. You saw it on there just now, I'm sure. But yeah, at the time it was $250. But it was fun to run in. That was one of the coolest Hokas they ever made, in my opinion. I mean, it looks crazy, but like running it, it's very fun. And it lasted a long time too. I had a great time in that shoe.
That's awesome. I really shouldn't complain because that's exactly what like what Nike did right after. Like it's they're just like boats. I don't know why that's such like a thing now, but they make you fast. Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, I'm doing a review for Believe in the Run and for another Hoka. Be on the lookout for it. It's kind of got that vibe to it. I'm just.
How often are you doing these reviews for Believe in the Run?
So it's kind of interesting. So like sometimes I won't even know. I'll just get a package and be like, oh, here we go time.
Nice.
It's cool. Yeah, I'll just get Susan and be like, okay, cool. Because I run so much anyway. Like I'm like, yeah, it kind of motivates me to run more because I want to like again. They're so cool for letting me do this. So I want to again, get the best review possible, and also like I want to get miles too. So yeah. I'm when I see boxes like that, I'm like, yes, it's time. I mean, like
good mail day.
Yeah, I mean, because like a lot, like oh my gosh, you don't even want to know the shoes I used to like. I would like, okay, so even now, like sometimes I run so much, I'll use crazy shoes. Like there's this one from Walmart that I would buy, the Avia Hightail. Believe in the Run actually reviewed it. You could get them as low as like under $10 at Walmart. It looks like a Hoka, but like that's the kind of stuff I'll run in pretty much any shoe. And like what happened was like when I worked at Run Specialty or even before, like shoes are expensive. I would run pretty much any kind of shoe I could get. So like, yeah, they've been really cool for helping me out with this for this opportunity. I'm like beyond grateful because again, yeah, running in Walmart shoes and everything. I mean, like it's cool that I get to run in some good stuff now.
Well, let's
All right, believe in the run, everybody. Go check it out.
Yeah, check
See
them
lots
out.
of good reviews.
I will be checking it out because I am in the market. I am due for a new pair of shoes. So let's transition from running to failed reality TV star.
I almost forgot about this.
Yeah, I got it in the notes. We can't end this without talking about a failed reality TV star. John, what is this?
That's kind of a joke. Like. I'm not like a Hollywood guy or anything. I applied to be on a reality show last year called Squid Game, and that's gonna be out in November. I didn't make the cut. I
Oh,
don't know how. I think they were at least looking at me because like around the time I did a couple of, so I did the initial like application and then I did a couple of series of interviews and then like Donald and I would just post like Donald's goals just so like his family could see it, just like to show out what he's all about on social media. We never to like get like famous or anything, but I would just post some stuff out there just to like just for fun, and like we get like 10 likes or something. During this process, he got like 7 million likes like on one of his goals. Yeah, I was just like whoa, like so like he went like crazy viral. And I mean, like, I really think there's no coincidence with that. I think it had something to do with them, like, looking at, like, me to be on there. Like, so I don't know what happened with that. But, yeah, I mean, like, if there was another opportunity that presented itself like Squid Game, I really wanted to get on, though, just because it was so funny. All my friends were like, you run ultras every weekend, do all this crazy stuff that, you're perfect for this show. So, like, yeah, I was kind of disappointed I didn't get on. But for all the stuff I'm doing, I would have had to go to, like, I would have had to go away to film it and stuff like that. I would have had to cancel races. It probably worked out for the best. I'm happy with what I'm doing, but if something else presents itself like that, I would definitely apply and see if they'd want me.
I was imagining like MTV Road Rules. That's the show I always wanted to be on. I didn't want to be in the real world. I wanted to be on Road Rules.
Oh,
That
Road
would be
Rules was where it was at.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so my question for you said Squid Game, right? Is this anything
Yeah.
like the Korean like Netflix show? Is it like
Yeah,
like
a
red light,
reality.
green light kind of thing? Like
That was the main one I wanted to play. That's why I was so distraught. So like in as late as November last year, like I remember because I was going to what's it called? I was going to do Cloud Splitter 100, and I got an email from one of the producers. They're like, "Hey, you're still in the running. See if your friends would like to come with you. Like, you still have to, they still have to apply and everything, but there's a chance that you're still in the mix for this." So I called like all my friends and stuff like that, and like there was a cool mix of people that that agreed to do it. I ran with them on an adventure race called the Bloody 11W. Uh, Chris Kaner and Odie Hessness. Basically, like we were kind of like a comical cast on this. Like we just it's like a Ball State like race. We went from like was it Knoxville, Tennessee to Bristol, Virginia, and we're just like kind of camping out like behind gas stations and just like doing that whole like homeless life. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, I really wanted to get on there with them and like I think us doing red light, green light would have been such a hilarious shit show. I'm really disappointed that people should have seen this. This should have happened in real life, but yeah, no one dies though. So there was that.
Aww.
good. So it's not like the actual like Netflix thing.
Uh,
Okay. But that's
yeah,
such a crazy concept for like an actual reality show. Like a game. Is it like a game show? Like is there like what do you get if you won this thing? Like where did this take you?
like what was it? It was it was like you won like I forget exactly how much it was. It's like multiple. It was like a few $1,000,000 you would win if you won the show. Yeah. So like I forget exactly how much it was though. I want to say like 4.35 million or something like that.
Wow.
Was but yeah yeah it was a long application. That was the thing that blew my mind because like for ultras like some of them are picky. They want you to have like a running resume,
Mhm.
but like for this, it's completely different because like we applied in. I think I applied in June for that last year, and I was still like getting like stuff back from in like November, and then I just didn't hear from them at all. And like, yeah, that was like, I'm probably out of it. but like I still had hope alive. I was like, I hope so. I fucking still get at it. But the differences between the show is that like again, no killing, but they kept the games the same, and I don't know. Like I heard some weird stuff about it, though. Like there were some distraught people from the initial game. I don't know if it was just like marketing or stuff like that, but like there were some like reports that came out that the game was rigged, and like I guess like they have a blood pack on them. So like if the timer goes off or like something happens, like they get shot, the blood pack like spills out.
Oh, so that would have. Oh, okay, I see. I see.
But people were complaining, saying that like they made it and their blood pack still went off. And then like another funny thing is like people that got their plane tickets for it, they said that they got their return ticket with their actual tickets. So, oh, I guess I didn't make it. But you know what though? Netflix, if you're listening, yeah, I don't care. I would be glad that you let me on. You should have taken me, Netflix. You should have taken me. I'm a contestant. I wouldn't have whined or complained or none of that stuff.
That is such a crazy concept. Like, how did you even know about this show? Like, who
So
told you about it?
Ultra runners were like, John, you should do this. So, and like, it was funny because I was like, at first I was like, nah, but then I was like, yeah, that's pretty much me. So like, yeah, even though, because I really do feel like I was a good fit for it. And like, because yeah, the way I approach ultras and stuff like that, I'm just kind of like a glutton for that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of a shame, but I'm hoping that like something else like that pops up. Like that wasn't just like a one-off opportunity. Something else like that pops up, and like maybe some other ultra runners and me can like get on there. Like who knows? Hopefully, I would like to do that.
I
Hollywood
feel like
needs.
you could be the one to create your own game show. You just need the funding, and then you could be like, all right, we're going to do this crazy, like, ultra running setting game show. Like, I don't know, you can make it like kind of backyard style, like last one standing wins, or whoever goes the farthest wins, or like, I don't know, you could do anything with that. That would be such a fun idea.
One thing that would be cool if like they gave me like money and let me like go to all the different fast races in America. Like every like episode we go to a different one, or like do we do like 2 or 3 every episode? Are you listening? Just give me this thing. It'll be great. We'll just tour the country and look at fast races. It'll be wonderful.
I would totally watch that. I think that would be fascinating because especially if it was like the fat ass races, because you would be like showcasing them, so it would get them more like exposure, and then you could like make the craziest things like happen at them. There's your bushwhacking and whatnot.
The problem is, though, I can see this happening. Those races would get too big.
Too big. Like, then they would lose the appeal.
You sold out, Johnny. You sold my race out. This is what happened. Then everyone would hate me. Don't let John in any races. He's just gonna get them too big. Yeah.
Oh, you could always do like, welcome to the beep here in beautiful beep, and like don't give them the details, but just show like the cool race.
Yeah. You have to figure out where it is and like how to get in. It could be like
Barclays.
John.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed it because I disappeared for a second, but just start your own YouTube channel and vlog your races and your adventures. Like that's just what you guys do.
Also
Do it yourself. Start a YouTube channel.
It is weird though that like there isn't like I've looked around, like there's like, well, Happy Trails has a cool like they have like a cool calendar and they have like all like the awesome races and stuff like that, but there's not like a database of all the fat asses. And again, that's probably by design so they don't get so popular. But like, I mean, you can scout them out, but I'm sure there's ones I don't know about that are like deep within like just like the local culture, or, of the runners or in the areas and stuff like that they're held at, and they don't want a lot of people knowing about them. But I mean, like, it's weird too. It's a weird mix because I'd like to put them out there so other people can come. Because it'd be cool if, like, somebody like me from Virginia would, go to like, I don't know, Washington State or something like that to do a race there. I mean, I would probably rather travel. I'll say it. I'd much rather travel like to do like a race, like like a fat ass race, than do something like really big and like flashy. I think that would be cool just to like, because you meet like a lot of like just blue collar runners and people that are just like just really just really embedded in the community and stuff like that. That's how I feel.
I like it. I feel the same way. I would tend to travel for more like small ones, but I do love me a big race every once in a while. But there's almost like it's less stress. It's more fun when it's just kind of like the local crowd. And
I mean, like so don't get me wrong, Western States, if you're listening, I do want to get in. You can always say,
if we have any pull here, let's get you a ticket. Here we go.
you touched on something too. So I mean, like all my friends that, especially coming from the East Coast to Western states, that is so much stress. You're planning logistics. It's a lot of money on top of that. So like, it's almost like amazing to get into Western states, but that's tough too because I mean, like stress. Like, do you even have fun running that race? Like, I feel like yeah, when you get out there and start running, you do. But like, wow, like just the build up to that, I would probably not have fun at all until I'm actually running.
That just seems like such a stressful thing. So may my Western States lottery ticket get lost in the in the flow of everybody else. May someone
It's
more
fun.
deserving win it.
That's what every time I put in for it, I'm thinking like I want to get in, but I don't want to get in. It's always like that. You're like running for office or something. Yeah, I want this.
I want it, but I don't want it.
So
Yeah.
Western states to Eastern states coming up this episode. When this drops, you will have already run in Eastern states, but you have Eastern states coming up this weekend. You excited? You pumped? How you feeling?
So it's gonna be fun. I've got my girlfriend going. We've got a big crew. I'm running with like four of my friends are registered to run it, and we're all running together. It's gonna be awesome. I think we're gonna have a good time, and I'm real, from doing that Florida running and like, just from having all the hot weather earlier, just recently, all the miles I did in July, I think I'm really prepared for it. But it's tough. The first 30 miles of Eastern states are, they're awful. I mean, they're terrible, but what I have going for me though, they're not Manitou's revenge. So I do have that going.
So wait, have you run it before or is this your first time?
My first time running it, but I've been told by many people if you can finish Manitou's Revenge, you can pretty much do it. You can pretty much do anything. So I'm not cocky, but I feel like I'm in a really good place training wise, and that will be my ticket. That will be my only ticket this year. So I have to get it. I have to get my Western States ticket.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Absolutely. From hearing all of your stories and all the crazy races, the amount of races you do, I have no doubts you're gonna crush this. You're just gonna be fantastic.
We'll see. I do DNF a lot though. I have 2 this year. I have 2,
but not
two
this week. Not Eastern states.
They won't let me. Yeah, I mean, like this. I look at this as my A race here. I mean, no. Okay, so this is probably my A 100 miler, but then I'm really, like I said, I'm really looking forward to JFK. JFK is just cool because the 50-mile distance is amazing. It's still a lengthy distance, but you're not there like all weekend long. You can still like go midnight. Still have a kind of a normal weekend after that. It's not everything great. It's a good distance.
So something we like to do, something we just started doing recently is we've been doing a live YouTube stream, and we call it OTR Live. And that's when we have like a friend of the pod who is on the podcast who just did something amazing, like a race or what was the one Tara just had back surgery. So I'm thinking when your episode drops, which will be on a Tuesday, we do these on Thursdays. We need to have you back on in 2 days to talk about and tell us what Eastern States was like. Are you down for that? Absolutely. So whenever this drops in about 3-4 weeks from when we're recording, so we're talking just after Labor Day, probably, we'll talk to John and we'll hear about the Eastern States, whether he DNF'd, whether he crushed it, whether he shit his pants. We'll hear about it. He's going to spare no details.
You know what's funny too? So after, I think I'm doing the ring. Speaking of a great badass race, the Happy Trails puts on. I think I'm going to be doing the ring Labor Day weekend also. So yeah, you'll give me like a day after that. Yes. I'll be groggy. Look up the ring. That race is
the ring.
That's a horrible race, and I love doing it. It's a miserable race in Macedon, and I love it so much.
Is that laps? Is it laps?
No, you go all around Macedon. I think it's like 71 miles total. It's got a crazy. It's all rocks. Yeah, so I'll be fresh off of that madness. Yeah, I love it though. That's like one of my favorite Happy Trails races. So yeah, I've got races like I said. I've got races every week. I do stupid stuff every week.
You're a busy guy. Busy guy.
With me though, like if I do that, I'll be like, what? I'll be all keyed up for the ring. I'll be like, yeah, Eastern States. That was just I did that a couple of days. That's forever ago. But yeah, I can do that though. I can throw in some ring stuff too.
Love it.
Very cool.
So something we like to do. We don't have to end yet, but we're gonna get our 2 big questions out of the way. I'm gonna go first. So I first picked a picture that I mentioned earlier of you holding a DNF sticker because I was like, okay, that ultra running group we're in, Eric, on Facebook, they love DNFs. But I feel like we've talked enough about DNFs, and I scroll through Instagram and I try to find a non-running related picture, to be honest. which is hard to do on your Instagram because it's all running related or family. So I found one, and using this fancy new tool I figured out recently where I can share my screen, I'm
That's
going
helpful
to
for me
right.
because I can never see it.
Right. I'm going to show you my picture. You ready? Here we go. Here is my random Instagram photo I found of you, John,
Yes.
sitting in a wooden airplane. It's got to be at an airport. You have Donald in the background there, actually, and you can tell you're at an airport because there's other airplanes in the background, little ones. What are you doing in this photo? What's the story behind this photo?
So that's the Manassas Airport. Donald loves helicopters, so sometimes what we'll do, I'll bring him out there, and he'll play soccer, and he'll just watch helicopters. He loves police helicopters. So like sometimes me and him will just go out and watch them. Unfortunately, though, they move. Where Fairfax One is favorite helicopter, they actually moved locations from the Manassas Airport, but we know the new one. We've already went and saw them. So like, yeah, Donald loves helicopters, so that's what we were doing, and like. I don't know what came over me. I saw that wind helicopter. I was like, this is happening.
What a solid day. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, we go look at helicopters a lot, play some soccer, and yeah, we chill. He's a cool dude. I straight up love chilling with Donald. He's an awesome guy.
This is
Well,
awesome that I can share
we
the
say
screen.
Hi, by the way. Yeah, I love that too.
Taking the podcast to a new level here. Here's Donald.
Roll back down. Look, I used to have really long hair.
Right there?
No.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like
you. Yeah, I was a dick.
You got a couple photos where you have no hair like me.
Yep, there's Devil Dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that race all year. Actually, pretty much every year.
This was a close second because as any parent, I totally can relate to this. And it's like you go to bed and you're in bed and it's Christmas time and you're like, I didn't move the elf on the shelf.
That's clutch time. And you're like actually like walking around with your kid in the morning. You're like, oh, you're like you have to pull like a superhero like move, grab it, and then just like fling it somewhere. And luckily, it's like gonna be like nice looking.
And my wife's like, you can't forget.
You just fling it somewhere.
Yeah, she goes, you need to write a note. Don't forget to write a note. And I'm here most nights now that she works nights, and I got to get creative. And it's not that hard. What was hard last year was we went to Disney World in December and the elf had to come. Not my daughter's rules, my wife's rules. So my daughter, we could have easily understood, oh, the elf was at the house and just waiting for you. No, the elf came to Disney. Yeah.
Next time, just be like, it's afraid of airplanes. It can't come.
Oh no, it can't do that now
like
because the elf because she knows the elf will fly or whatever on her own to Disney World.
That's tough. What I would want to do though, if I were to do that, I would commit fully in like, I would put the elf like in the hotel room in the morning, and then like take it with me, put it like on a ride or something, and then somehow get it back, and then bring it back to the hotel. Yeah, I would want to do that stuff. You know what? I think I just talked myself into it. I like the Elf on the Shelf game. I think it's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait for Christmas.
Something I want to do actually is I want to get all the when we went to Disney, my mom bought the boys a bucket of Toy Story toys, and I want to like super glue them to the back bumper of the camper. That's what I want to do. Or like you could like almost make it look like they're all holding hands and like, you know, like trying not to fly away. I think that would be the funniest thing.
Yeah, I with my luck with like that kind of stuff, they would fly away. They would fly away. I think that would happen. Yeah.
R.I.P. Woody.
Like sometimes like Donald likes flags a lot, and like he's got these flags that he puts on. You like those ones that you have in the windows that you can like secure with the window. Like he'll have the American flag on one side. Like one of them was like really cheap. We got in the past, and like it just flew off. And when he saw it, like it happened, he was like so lit because he loves flags. So like I was like, we'll get another one, man. We'll do it. And so I hyped him up, and we went and got another. Like me and his mom, like we put like so much like clear tape on it, like this thing isn't going anywhere. So like, yeah, we made sure that thing that couldn't happen again. But like, yeah, like I have really bad luck with that stuff. But yeah,
So is it my turn for my last question?
It's your turn. Doesn't have to be the last.
Did you prep him for this one?
It was in the notes, but I think John's a listener. I think he knows about this big, tough question. We'll see.
All right, John, you ready?
I'm ready.
We have our amazing rockin' Spotify playlist, and we like to have our guests add songs if they are interested. So, do you have anything awesome that you want to put on our playlist?
Oh man. Basically, okay. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge music guy. I'm more a podcast guy.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to podcasts a lot, but anything Pantera, basically. Anything
Pantera.
you want. When I first started like doing long runs and stuff like that, I would just blast out Pantera and like any '80s metal I could get my hands on, like from playlists and stuff like that. But yeah, I
What's
love
your
Pantera.
favorite? What's your favorite Pantera song?
Honestly, like
It's got to be Walk. We got to do Walk.
I mean, like, I'm not like a huge music guy, but yeah. Or
you know where you hear Walk?
In your head
No,
during an ultra?
No, it's like you hear that one at like a strip club.
Oh.
You totally hear that song at a strip club. When the girl with all the tattoos comes out on stage, center stage, you know.
Wow.
You're revealing a lot about yourself, man.
Wait, wait, guys, I want to back off from Pantera. Let's go Megadeth.
Ooh.
Megadeth?
What's that song called? I'm not a huge Megadeth guy, but I want to just for the pod, I think this will work. The loneliness of the distance runner. Is that the song? I think that's just right, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Possibly.
I think it sounds like a good name, at least. I can't say I know the actual tune of it, but it's gonna fit right in.
There's I probably butchered the name. It's like I don't think it's even one of their like more like known songs. I think it's like "Loneliness of the Distance Runner," something like that.
I know of another song, and I feel like they stole. Who was it? Foles, maybe. But one of them has that as like the hook. That's like their chorus. I'm not singing it though. But we'll find it. We'll find it. I promise.
Hold on.
It's there. I promise. It's funny too because like I didn't even know the song. He is much like that stuff I listen to, or as I listen to. My brother, like he one day he put a video on my like Facebook wall. I was like, yeah, it kind of fired me up for like a run I was about to do. I mean, it was again Megadeth's not. I'd go Metallica over Megadeth any day, or like Pantera, but like. You gotta give it to Megadeth for like doing something like even because like it's got running in it. So
he's right.
You gotta
perfect. You know what's funny? Speaking of Metallica, I like just scrolling through Instagram, random shit pops up, and somebody had taken that song like 500 Miles and put that like main beat to a Metallica song. So Metallica was singing, and it was just like na na. So I'm like, what is this song? It was pretty fun.
It is. It's called "The Loneliest of the Distance Runner."
Yes, yeah.
It's by Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Oh.
And my bad. I'm like I said, I'm not a big music guy. I was close.
We'll let it slide. But yeah, you got that song. It's yours.
Oh, I'm gonna get like really hated on Instagram now, like by Iron fans. They're like, you called us Megadeth? What are you doing, man? You freaking poser! You suck, John.
Oh man. Well, I can't control them, but you're not going to get any shit from me because I don't know any different. Don't dish it at me.
They're gonna like. I'm gonna get like beer cans thrown at me when I go on my runs. This fucking guy.
Oh man.
I love it, dude. This has been a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to pump the tires for any people, any brands? Do you want to fill us in with one more awesome epic story? What do you want? This show, the ending is yours, my man.
I'm just gonna. I'll give a couple shout outs. Quattro Hubbard and Happy Trails. Thank you for helping me, do race reports. Thank you for motivating me to actually write. Matt Boyd from Fast Fred, same thing with you, buddy. Thank you for motivating me to write race reports. Everybody at Believe in the Run, you guys are awesome. Thank you for believing in me. And all my running clubs, Fredericksburg Area Running Club. I'm probably forgetting like a bunch of people right now, but I love you. Thank you for taking care of me. I'm a mess, and you guys are wonderful.
You're so cool, man. Do you have any plans in the future to come to New England, especially New Hampshire?
I would love to. So like, yeah, like my girlfriend actually, she lived in New Hampshire. She's lived all over New England. I would love to go out there and do a race with her. It would probably be like it would probably be a marathon or something like
Well,
that.
she's running Boston soon, right? Or she's got it next year. She qualified. Oh, well, she qualified, so we'll see if
Well,
she's running Boston.
This is how cool my girlfriend is. Like, even though she qualified, she wants to wait for me to do it next year. So like, the heat is on, and that's the tough thing though too.
That
about
should be your song. The
yeah.
heat is on.
The heat is on.
Yeah, that could be another. That's a
You
good
can have
alternative.
two. You can have two.
Oh, we could just add the heat is on, like that for like this.
We'll put them both on there.
Yeah, perfect. But I think I could do the BQ. I mean, I am fast, but like my problem more is I think mentally that like I like doing hundreds. I don't like running super fast, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think I can do it. If anything, I'll self motivate myself to do it so we can both run Boston together. That would be both of our first time. You hanging out there would be amazing.
We'll be there.
There you go.
We'll be cheering you
We'll
on.
come cheer. Yeah, it's like 45 minutes from us, so like we're, I guess, kind of local to Boston, local enough. So that would be perfect opportunity.
Yeah, you'll have to step in a bar there and do like a live podcast there. We can come by.
That's goals,
We've been talking
man.
about doing something like that. We need to figure it out.
This is going to happen. I have goals, and I have like things are going to happen with this podcast, man. We're small and we're growing. We're doing this consistently. We're not stopping. We're having too much fun. It doesn't feel like a job. It's not a job. It is not bringing it. It is. We are not making a living doing this, but this is a blast. And yes, one day live shows, YouTube. I mentioned you got to do a YouTube channel because we're going to work on vlogging some races and growing on YouTube. And I love doing this. This is fun. This was a ton of fun. Absolutely. Erica, this was a good one.
I could talk to you for hours because you were just like a wealth of knowledge with all these races, the hundreds. This is like uncharted territory for me. So I'm so glad we got to pick your brain and hear your stories. You were just an awesome, awesome guy.
We're gonna come to you.
You're just gonna keep going far, man. Keep it up.
I'm gonna try. Thank you for putting me on. I could talk to you. I could talk to you guys forever, but like as we were talking, my girlfriend was like messaging, like, "Where are you? You should be done by now."
No, this is a long form podcast.
You can blame us. Throw us under the bus.
This was so much fun because I kind of watched the two of you just hit it off and talking about shoes and
it was weird. Like when you set the notes, I've never had the prep before. Like I usually just kind of like just go with it. Like see where
you wing it.
Like,
yeah, it's just more guidelines. It's a suggestion. It's not rules. We don't have to follow it. It's just I don't know if I ever get like a memory block.
Yeah, we tend to get off topic a lot, so this kind of reins us in a little too. So it helps.
It help out too because like when I saw it, that was funny because like at first I thought you guys saw I did the big Barkley. I was like, oh no, I need to mess with I got the wrong.
Gotta correct us.
Well, that's Erica's wheelhouse. I don't know anything really about Barkley. She sends me the YouTube video one day, and it was actually the one of is his name Gary Robbins or something.
Gary.
That was the one where I was like, oh my god, looks awesome. But besides that, I'm not really into I'm more the triathlon guy and the runner around here. And Erica's into these ultras, and I like doing the cruise support. One day I'll do one. I'll do hamster wheel. That's what I'll do. But it's Erica's wheelhouse, and I knew the two of you would click.
Come out to Virginia and do the ring. Come and do a Happy Trails race.
I'll do a Happy Trails race. Let me
start with the other Virginia race. Let me start with Yeti, and then I'll see where to go from there.
I tend to drive through once a year. If I'm ever by myself, I'll stop and do one with you, like a Happy Trails thing.
I know all the races. I'll get you in one. You know, I'll get you in a good one.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for listening. Thanks for contributing all the time. Like, I'm like, dude, this guy sounds so cool. I just, slid into your DMs. I'm like, dude, you sound awesome. Can we talk to you?
I was putting out the feelers, man. I'm glad you did that because eventually I would have, but like, you beat me to it. So, it worked. It all worked out.
Love it.
Thanks again, John. Make sure you give our love to Donald too. Like, we're super happy to just get to know both of you a little bit and just keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna keep following along.
This is great.
He's the real all-star. I'm just around for the ride. That's it.
John, thank you so much for coming on. You were just like this epic ultra dude. I am so excited to get to we got to talk to you and pick your brain on all those stories. And my God, you are just a wealth of knowledge.
And we're going to talk to him in a couple of days
That's
because
right.
we're going to do OTR live with him live on YouTube because he did the Eastern States, and then he had the ring, which was just this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that last minute invitation to the Fall Classic.
Did he accept? I hope he accepted. I saw a picture of it.
Accepted. He accepted.
Good for you.
I think he did. I'm 98%.
Oh,
sure
yeah. We'll bug him about it, but
he's going to tell us all about it. So we're going to do OTR live with John on Thursday. So you guys will get to hear from him again really soon. And it kind of worked out great on the timing of that. We'll bring him back. So no, he was super. We talked to that guy for well over 2 hours.
He's done my dream races basically. Well, he does all the really, really, really hard ones, but ones that someday I'd be like, I might do that. But I can't believe just how many miles that guy runs. 400 something in a month.
Yeah, him and his girlfriend both run a ton of miles. Denise, his name's not Denise. Her name is Denise. They do a ton, and they make posts. Dropped our daughter off at school, then they go run, and they keep getting those miles. And so, yeah, power couple for sure. So she was texting him during our interview, how long is this going to go? And he goes, yeah, we're still going, babe. We're still going.
I just love the fact that we recorded that during a tornado warning too. We're like, dude, whatever you do,
freaking
just make sure you're safe. Maybe not sit so close to windows.
Don't turn off the camera. We want to film it. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh man, that's some dedication though. That was fun.
Dedication to the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey. Let's change it up here. When I was in the pool the other week, I was like, what are we going to do for something? Maybe we can have people ask questions again. We tried this forever ago. By the way, I went back to episodes 6 and 7 when you fangirled because a future guest may be coming on next week. You fangirled really hard about back in
it's even worse now.
Episode 6 or 7.
It's so much worse.
So I listened to those episodes and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy that we figured out how to do this, or at least
it was real rough sailing in the beginning. Yeah.
It wasn't, I thought we were awesome, but now today I'm like, oh my God, we were rough back then.
You got me on this for 70 something episodes now. And early on I was not comfortable speaking to all of our listeners. So I've come a long way.
I think nothing against you, John Calabrese, but I think the next episode is going to by far be Erica's favorite. She's already
choose a favorite? I can't. I shouldn't. I won't. But I did. Sorry.
Well, it is our only guest that you are still in a constant group chat with,
which is the best thing on the planet. How that happened, I just
wavy, wacky, inflatable tube guys. Blah 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 blah. You just. Now I'm stopping at every wavy wacky. Oh my God, I'm gonna stop. Nope, that's next week, guys. Next week, I'm done. But questions. I said, guys, let's ask Erica some questions. She's an open book. Ask her anything.
Well, how about we'll spin it where you can ask the questions, but then you also have to give an answer. You can't just put me on the spot.
Unless they say, Eric, I want to know from you too. So all right. Our first question comes from at Mary McManus Running Girl.
Hi, Mary.
She says, what is your most challenging race? And did you ever have a DNF or a DNS?
Oh, man. He should have prepped me in advance for these.
Nope, didn't prep you at all.
Well, I can answer the last part. I have not had a DNS or a DNF yet. So, knock on wood. Hopefully that stays that way. But most challenging race. I would think I would have to give it to Boston 2018. Just the weather conditions for that were so terrible. I was like a frozen block of ice by the end of that. It was by pure determination and force of will that I finished that thing. And I was not going to give up after doing all that charity fundraising, but that threw some real curveballs, and that was probably the most difficult one I've had to do. If we're talking course, I can't even tell you, but we'll go Boston.
Next question. Now, I did ask people to send some non-runner questions, but most of them were all running related questions. We have one at the end that's not.
Okay.
All right. From Adventures of a Brown-Eyed Girl asked, for you both. Okay, I'll answer this
Aha.
one. What is your favorite race, and what are your favorite recovery tips? Go.
God, favorite races. I'm gonna give it to Anchor Down right now. That one is
Okay.
top of my list.
All right.
For
Mine
obvious
would
reasons.
be Mount Tremblant. That would be mine. Ironman Mount
Mhm.
Tremblant. Yeah,
And
I still
recovery
can't pronounce
tips.
it right, but
Oh, you're doing just fine.
Normatec boots.
Yes.
But I really want to try an ice bath.
Ooh, that's.
I really want to try an ice bath.
That would take a lot for me to get in one of those, but I'm gonna go with sleep.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right. Sleep.
Yep.
All right. Our next question is from @CoachWatt_. I wonder who that is. What got you into running, and what made you want to do a marathon in every state?
All right. I started running back in 2009 just because I was training for the Goffstown Gallop, which fell on my birthday. So it was a good goal. I had plenty of time to prepare for that, and it seemed like a manageable distance for me and has since escalated. As for the marathons in every state, I just was looking for more goals. And as I started doing more marathons, I just started naturally ticking off some different states, and I figured why not keep it going?
All right, cool. They didn't ask me that question, so I'm not going to answer the
You're
question.
getting out of this
It's
early.
fine.
Easy.
I wanted questions for Erica. That's why I did that. All right.
Sure.
Next one is from JP603.
What you got, Jay?
If you could be any animal, what would you be and why? Finally, a real question. I'm happy. I'm excited. What animal would you be and why?
I would have to say penguin because they are the friggin' awesomest animals on the planet. I mean, look at how stylish Alfredo is right now. So why wouldn't I want to be a penguin? Plus, most of the time when I get tired, I waddle run. So I'm already halfway there.
Cool. I like it. You know what? I should have known that one. Okay.
Duh.
All right.
What about you? No, that's an easy one. You can answer that question.
Nope. Jay didn't ask me that question.
Not a leopard seal? No, you've been a penguin. You can't go back on it now.
Yeah, I can't kill any penguins now.
Ah.
You know, it would be a good question if someone said, like, if you had to eat one to survive,
A penguin?
would you eat a penguin or would you eat like a kitty cat?
Oh my god! Just don't. I don't want to.
But nobody asked the question, so you don't have to answer.
Nobody asked that. Yeah.
All right. From @Hannah Newt. Never heard of her. Don't know who she is. All right. Let's see. Do you eat or drink soup?
I eat the stuff out of the soup and then drink the broth. I don't full on drink when I would choke. Oh my god. That would be
That
bad
brings up the
news.
question, like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
That's like, is a Pop-Tart a ravioli or like a
Is a hamburger a sandwich, by the way, or is it a burger? Like,
oh god, debate. I don't want to. I think Hannah coming in hot with the hard question. That was wicked funny. Anywho, I'd like to see your thoughts on that question.
she didn't ask me.
Come on, dude. I'm asking you.
Coming in from @72below. If you were a superhero, we've been talking about superheroes lately. What powers would you have?
If I was a superhero, I think I would want the power to heal myself. So that way, if I am ever out on my running adventures and I got injured, I could heal myself quickly and not have to be hurt because that's the worst.
Our final question is from Original Ginger. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh boy. Oh man. I honestly don't even know.
It better not be me.
Oh, I would tell you if it was you. We have no secrets.
Is it
biggest
a friend
pet
of
peeve.
ours? Is it a friend of yours? I should say yours, not ours. Oh, it is. It's that
What?
person. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I gotta go with this is not running related. People who can't park their cars correctly. That drives me up a
Oh,
wall.
yeah. All right. Here's a question. Do you pull into your parking spot or do you back in?
It all depends. I back into my driveway at home, but most places, just to make it easier, like if there's people waiting to drive by, I just pull in. But
You got to back in. Back in all
if I
day
have
long.
if
The
I
answer
have
is
all the
back in.
time in the world,
Makes
I'm gonna back it
makes
in.
getting out easier. Makes
Mhm.
getting out so much easier.
Oh yeah.
Are you like looking for the closest parking spot, or do you like just park far away, kind of like at least 3 spots in between you and the next car?
I try to give myself space. I mean, I'm not afraid of walking
Yeah.
whatsoever, so I don't care where the hell I am in a parking lot. It doesn't have to be up close.
All right. I want to ask my 2 questions that I mentioned in the post. Okay. So 1, when you sit down on a random toilet that's not your own, do you hover or do you go full contact?
Are we talking like porta potties and stuff, or like in somebody's house?
Porta potties.
All right. I will inspect the toilet seat, but half the time, like, I don't give a shit. I'll just sit down. Plus, my legs are probably really dead, and if I hover, it's going to be bad news. I'm going to pull a Sarah and Philly.
Yeah, I figured, I figured hovering actually, especially before a race, probably like it's like doing a wall-less wall sit. I can't say that. It's like doing a wall sit without a wall. Like you're just burning up your quads.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah,
mid-race, you
so
just don't care anymore.
Just
You're sweaty, you're
clean
gross.
the seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
A 1, a 2, a 3, crunch. 3. I don't know.
Do you want to know what Google says? This website I looked up is called
Does it give you like the
Google.com.
legit number? Like
364 licks.
who's just literally sitting there? I don't know. I don't like to eat lollipops like that.
364 licks. But if you're an aggressive licker, 252 licks.
What classifies you as an aggressive licker?
I don't know.
Oh my god. That's so
My
weird.
mind just went to the wrong place.
Do you remember those, like, was it Orbit gum back in like the day that they used to have that commercial?
Fresh
Like,
minty
you
melters.
lit liquor.
Yeah.
Talking nostalgia. That's the shit that comes up in my head.
That was fun. I don't think we'll do questions all the time, but I just thought, like, yeah, let's fill some space here. So
It is kind of fun
we
to do
we
those.
didn't even get to talk about it on the episode that I asked the questions for, but I saved them. So
Good. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys engaging with us and throwing us
I
some
do too, because
curveballs.
that actually helps. So we got quite a few. I made up one name at the end. Dave didn't really ask a question. I just wanted to know.
But he would have. I'm
So,
sure he would have. So
Yeah. If he
Happy
had
to
enough
answer it.
time and saw the post, you're right, because I did it late. So that was fun. All
very
right.
fun.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the pod. Don't forget, follow if you're new, follow us on Instagram. Check us out at On The Runs. In there, you'll find our link in our bio, and that will bring you everywhere. It'll bring you to our TikTok that we only use sometimes, our Facebook that we never use, our email that you can email me if you want. Some of you do that, not often. I don't always check it. Just slide into my DMs on Instagram if you want to chat and get a quick response. And then our YouTube channel that is growing. And Riverside just made this new awesome feature that is going to allow me to edit the podcast episodes, the entire episodes, much easier than what it was before. So I'm thinking the beginning of 2024, we're soon going to do like every other week drops of some awesome episodes like Ryan Van Duzer, like Ashley Paulson, Erica, Nate, drop one. Who?
I don't want to give it away. Neil Murphy.
We might do. Neil is coming back.
I forgot we never did it with him.
Well, we just scheduled him. Neil is coming back. So maybe going forward, like we will almost do every episode going forward, eventually, maybe in 2024. Maybe that's the goal, as we continue to grow and evolve and just do more. So hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. We forgot to talk about your 50K.
Let's just talk about it next week. That's totally fine. I'm probably going to want to give it more in-depth review. So we'll just do it next week. Sound good?
All right, guys. But we'll talk to you in 2 days for OTR Live if everything goes as planned. So look for that on Thursday. And next week, Erica's is going to be her favorite episode of all time. The GOAT episode. So Yeah, pretty big deal. Which I think will be topped shortly after that. So
That's why I don't want to play favorites, you guys. It's so hard. I love all of you. You're all great.
wavy, wacky, inflatable tube man and corn and cow.
Corn
I'll
and
just
cow.
leave it there.
Yeah, you guys are in for a real treat. So stick around. I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. And don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Just living the dream, man. Living the dream. Dodging tornadoes and just living life.